October 12, 2014, from the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. It was the Washington Redskins at the Arizona Cardinals. And the only scoring in the first quarter was a 20-yard touchdown pass from Carson Palmer to Michael Floyd, as the Cardinals took a 7-0 lead in the first, as Carson Palmer was finally back underneath center for Arizona. Then in the second quarter, starting off early in the second quarter, the Redskins ended up tying this game up at 7 apiece when Kirk Cousins hit DeSean Jackson for a 64-yard pass. So it was now 7-7. Then the Redskins would take the lead about 6 minutes later, 5.5 minutes later, when Forbath hit a 28-yard field goal to make it 10-7, Washington over Arizona. Then, with about 30 seconds left before halftime, Carson Palmer threw a second touchdown pass of the game. This one a 24-yard pass to Larry Fitzgerald. As Fitzgerald got in the end zone, it was now 14-10 Cardinals over Skins. But then right before, literally on the last play before halftime, the Redskins end up getting a 43-yard field goal from Forbath to make it a 1-point game, as the Cards went into the locker rooms at halftime up 14-13 over the Redskins. So that was it for the second quarter. And in the third quarter, the only scoring was a 33-yard field goal by Chandler Catanzaro for the Cardinals, as they extended their lead to 4 at 17-13, as they led Washington by 4 points, as I said. So going into the fourth, it was 17-13 Arizona over Washington, and then the Cardinals got 2 field goals from Chandler Catanzaro, as he had kicked now 3 field goals in a row. First a 49-yarder, then a 37-yarder here in the fourth after kicking that one in the third. So now it was 23-13 as the Cardinals led by 10 points. But then with about 2 minutes left in the game, Kirk Cousins hit Pierre Garcon for a 5-yard touchdown pass to make it 23-20, as the Redskins were now within a field goal. But then the Cardinals ended up getting an interception for a touchdown, as Rashad Johnson got a pick 6 when Washington was trying to score to win the game, but instead it went the other way, and the Cardinals ended up winning by 10 points with the final score 30-20. So Arizona, after having gotten their first loss last week, they get the win this week, and they are now at 4-1 on the season, and the Redskins are 1-5. And in this game, Carson Palmer in his return was 28 for 44 with 250 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Andre Ellington had 67 rushing yards off of 19 carries, and Larry Fitzgerald was just 2 yards shy of the century mark, as he had 98 receiving yards off of 6 receptions, and he had a touchdown. Floyd also caught a touchdown for the Cardinals. The game's leading receiver was DeSean Jackson with 115 yards off of 3 receptions. He also had a touchdown as well. So did Garcon. Kirk Cousins was 24 for 38 with 354 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Alfred Morris had 41 yards off of 13 carries. As I said, those 3 interceptions, 2 of those were for Rashad Johnson, the second of which he returned for the touchdown. He had a pick earlier in the game. And Gerard Powers had the other pick for Arizona, as they picked off Cousins 3 times. The Redskins did not pick off Palmer even once. They did sack him 1 time, as it was a dual sack between Kerrigan and Hatchers. They combined for that sack, and Kerrigan had 9 tackles to go along with the half sack and the 1 tackle for the loss, and a pair of QB hits. Johnson was the leading tackler for Arizona with 8 tackles, and he also had those 2 pickoffs, as we said, one of which was a pick 6. Okafor had 2 sacks, the only 2 sacks for the Cardinals. So the final score, Arizona 30, Washington 20.